Good morning and welcome to Paradise School. In the next 15 minutes, we will briefly inform you about our school. Although our school provides the necessary resources to do entrepreneurial classes and they are included in the schedule, we have decided to primarily base our school philosophy as well as the 6 lessons on multicultural aspects. Our school is a public multicultural primary school in Denmark. We based our philosophy on the principles of Célestin Freinet, who is a noted French pedagogue and educational reformer. Concerning the pedagogy of work, pupils are encouraged to learn by making projects in groups, including problem-solving work. Pupils are to cooperate in the production process and learn to take responsibility for their own work and for the whole community during the daily school life. Moreover, the children's interests and natural curiosity are starting points for a learning process, and by including its real experiences, authentic learning can take place. We chose to organize the school in multiple grade classrooms. This means that grade 1 and 2 are together, grade 3 and 4, and grade 5 and 6. This way, the classes are heterogeneous, and students can learn from each other, help each other, and they also have the possibility to take a step back when they need it or even learn more advanced content. We don't teach with a strict year plan. We have goals that the students need to reach by the end of each grade, but the students and the teacher decide how and when they reach these goals during the school year. This gives a lot of freedom to the teachers and makes the students more involved in their learning process. Students can come to the school and mention something they are interested in. It is then the teacher's job to find content in that and to make the students work with this.
As we mentioned in the beginning, we are an international school. That means that about 90% of our students aren't Danish. That's why our school teaches in English. When you mix this many cultures and nationalities together, you need certain values. We focus on the well-being of the school community. The school is a very close-knit group. This is one of the reasons why we have an open-door philosophy. Therefore, we organize weekly assemblies where teachers and students can tell the school what they have been doing in their classroom. This also gives the children a chance to get to know the other classrooms and teachers. The assemblies lead us to our next value, the involvement of the parents in the daily school life. Parents are welcome at the Friday afternoon assemblies. They are also contacted to help out in the classrooms, to sit in parent councils, etc. What we find most important is respect. We want the students to respect each other. It doesn't matter what their differences are. We are all equal. Another value is cross-cultural engagement. We correspond with multicultural international schools all over the world. We also focus on a cooperative life in the classrooms. We want that every student can participate. They work in groups and have several collective learning spaces in the classroom, individual spaces for students in need. Everyone can express themselves freely during class discussions, class counseling, and philosophical discussions. Parents, students, and teachers know these values and agreed to them before entering the school.
We aim for the students to achieve self-confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem based on Axel Honnel's ideas on building. We want them to leave the school as critical thinkers, open-minded, and independent human beings, and to teach them how to implement their own ideas. Layout of the school. Our school exists out of 2 connected buildings. Each building has 2 floors. The main building has a big hall at the ground floor. This is where the school assemblies and the theater lessons take place. Surrounding the hall, there are a few course-specific classrooms, a music room, the makerspace, a crafts room, and the teacher lounge. The classrooms are on the 2nd floor. There are 6 connecting classrooms. The same grades are opposite of each other. The inside of the classrooms are very similar. Each classroom has a reading nook with a small library. Here we also have classroom discussion. The children sit on group tables but can choose individual tables. All the subjects have their own corners. This way, the students can work independently. For projects, craft classes and focus groups, there is a big table in the back of the classroom. The connecting building contains the canteen at the ground floor and the gym hall at the 1st floor. The canteen has an open kitchen where the children help out during lunch break. They set the tables and clean them afterward. This happens in mixed age groups. There is a reading lounge in the corner where children who need a calm break can sit. The gym hall has a lot of windows and lights, and it's connected to the first floor of the main building. The playing ground is a green playing ground. There are multiple climbing structures playing areas. Behind the canteen you can see a vegetable garden with some school animals. The gardens are maintained by the children.
Our school has grade classes. This means that there are always 2 grades together. This idea comes from Frenne. Grade classes give the students the opportunity to learn from each other. Quick students can follow lessons from the older grades, and students that have a little more trouble can have a lesson twice. The teacher has a close bond with the students and acts as a coach. Grade classes can give some concentration problems. That's why we provided the individual working spaces. Each class has approximately 18 students and 1 teacher. The teachers are supported by 2 special needs teachers and specialized teachers for the more creative classes. The school exists out of 108 students.
This is an example schedule for the 4 oldest grades. The lessons in the 2 youngest grades are half this long. There is an assembly every morning and the students have a 10-minute transition break between each class. In the morning, we focus on English and math. In the afternoon, there is time for individual work, creative classes, and project work. This means that science classes are mostly student organized. They learn about world orientation in projects. The schedule is very flexible. The teachers can make adjustments as they go. They only have to conform to the breaks and to the goals that have to be reached by the end of the year. As we already mentioned it before, the students work very independently. Each week they receive a weekly plan. This plan contains their task for the week. The students organize themselves how and when they do these tasks. The only rule is that they have to be finished by the end of the week. The students also correct their task on their own with a correction key. This is allowed after they show their finished task to the teacher. The classroom rules are formed by the students and for the students. This is an example of the rules. They are in the same line with the school values. To make sure that we create independent and responsible students, we give them a responsibility each week. The students have a task they need to do during the week.
All these lessons are set in the beginning of the school year and planned for grade 3. Lesson 1. Where am I from? The goals of these lessons are develop cultural self-awareness and develop curiosity and discovery. The teacher hangs a big world map on a corkboard. The students look up their country of ethnicity before the class and put a pin in their country. The teacher asks, why did I connect your pins? The message of this exercise is that the pins are connected because we are all connecting in a certain way. How we are connected is what you will learn in the following lessons. We will fill out a footprint with a couple of questions and photo. Afterwards, we will make posts with all the footprints to symbolize the paths we will walk together during our school year together. To end the lesson, we create the posts together and have a conversation about what we learned. This way, the teacher can evaluate the curiosity, and self-awareness can be evaluated by observation during work. The children learn that they are all part of the classroom and are important for the classroom. Together, they create the identity of the school. This point refers to James A. Banks. Our 2 main goals refer to Deardorff, the ability to communicate effectively and appropriately in intercultural situations based on one's intercultural knowledge, skills, and attitudes. These 3 aspects then lead to internal and external outcomes. Lesson 2. Philosophy. The goals of these lessons are develop attitudes of solidarity and open-mindedness, develop critical thinking, develop self-confidence. This point refers to Deardorff. The teacher starts with the question of the day and the pupils think before starting. The teacher gives the talking stick to a first student who begins to answer the questions. Everyone listens, and when someone wants to speak, he asks for the talking stick. The role of the teacher is a coaching role. He asks and refreshes the questions. Teacher and pupils evaluate the discussion together as a summary. The teacher asks the children a common answer to agree on together. It's a way to see if the pupils listened well to each other. Then they will make a poster per group. The philosophical discussion refers to Célestin Freinet because the students develop critical thinking and self-confidence in a cooperative way. Lesson 3. Games around the world. Pupils learn games from different countries to be curious and culture-specific information. These goals are from Deardorff's theories. The students do an investigation on games from their country of ethnicity. During project time, they have time to make a poster for their presentation. The students can choose with whom they work. This can be alone or in group. They can bring a game. During the presentation, the students have to write down one question for each presentation. This serves as an evaluation. At the end of the lesson, the teacher and students vote on which games they would like to play in the next lesson game.
During the fourth lesson, the pupils are going to learn games from different countries. The aim behind this lesson is that the pupils gain some more culture-specific information referring to Deardorff's intercultural competence model. Further, they are going to explore motion and motor actions. The students are divided in 4 groups and the gym in 4 parts. Each part represents a different country and game. The students travel from country to country by flying the plane. Each game is explained before we start playing. Here, the teacher goes to every country in the same order the students should. The pupils play each game for 7 minutes. We end the lessons with a reflection on the games. The pupils share their opinions and say what they liked about the games.
In this lesson, the students need to know the different parts of a letter and the layout of a letter. They also have to be open-minded to intercultural learning and to people from other cultures. While they write the letter, they need to forget all their prejudices. First, we revise how to write a letter. Afterwards, we introduce the theme birthdays. We have a small classroom conversation about our birthday celebrations. The teacher explains that they are going to write a letter to a class in a different country. They are going to ask them how they celebrate their birthdays. In the letter, they also have to introduce themselves and talk about their birthday celebrations. During this class, the students get the time to start their letter. They finish and hand it in during one of the project classes. We use the following theories. The 5 dimensions of multicultural education from James A. Banks. We use the dimensions prejudice reduction, knowledge reconstruction, and content integration. Because the children need to write the letters without any prejudices in their mind, and they practice how to write a decent letter. This way we integrate English content. We also use Deardorff's intercultural competence model, where we chose the attitude openness.
In Lesson 6, we focus on the same goals as in Lesson 5. In the beginning, the students sit in groups of 4 and use the think, pair, share method to talk about the letters they have received. Each student reads his or her letter. Afterwards, they discuss their letter with a partner. After this, they present the new knowledge they gained in the class. To end, the class makes a big summary of all the birthday habits on different posters. Each poster will represent a different country. To evaluate, the students compare the answers with their first letter to see if all the questions were answered. As a conclusion to these 6 lessons, we organize an international birthday party. The teacher organizes the party together with the students and the parents, who are also welcome at the party. The parents cook a dish that is from their country.
In the future, we can create new ways to focus more on the entrepreneurial dimensions and technology. We didn't use technology in our lessons because our main challenge was to focus more on the long-term pedagogical multicultural goal. However, we mean to investigate new projects, so a new field for our school could take place in technology and entrepreneurship with a multicultural educational setting.